Something massive just unfolded, and people are still struggling to fully process it. At one of the most exclusive and private nights in Hollywood, things reportedly turned chaotic in a matter of moments. We're talking about Justin Bieber and Usher allegedly getting into a heated and tense exchange right in the middle of a star-studded party hosted by Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Yes, that level of event. And to make it even more intense, 50 Cent has now broken his silence on the situation, and what he revealed added even more fire to the already burning discussion. It was Oscar weekend, and the entire city was packed with celebrities. Inside that same gathering were big names like Hailey Bieber, Michael B. Jordan, Timothée Chalamet, Taylor Swift, and several other A-list stars. This is usually the kind of place where everything is controlled, calm, and picture-perfect, where no one expects drama to break out.
Blowing my mind. Justin Bieber and Usher reportedly got into a fight at an Oscars after party. Multiple people told TMZ that this fight turned into a physical fist fight. Then a source that's close to Justin Bieber told TMZ that nothing physical broke out, but Usher walked up to Justin Bieber at this Oscar after party and was very heated and angry. And then things just escalated where they were both yelling at each other. I wish I could have just been a fly on the wall, because sources are also telling TMZ that Justin Bieber just wants to erase everybody from his past. This part really isn't surprising, because in 2025, when Justin Bieber was dealing with all of those things and following Scooter Braun and all of this, he also unfollowed Usher. We all know Usher and Scooter Braun are the ones that signed a very young Justin Bieber. I'm not gonna lie, I can't help but think back when all of this was happening in early 2025, when a lot of us thought that Justin Bieber was very much struggling mentally, and we saw him removing himself from everybody in his past. The only thing that was ever really reported is that Justin Bieber might have had some money that came up missing over a period of time, and he finally realized it. The reason why I found those reports so interesting is the fact that at the same time he was deleting Usher, Scooter Braun, and everybody from his life when he was younger, he also fired his business manager, Lou Taylor of TriStar. Yeah, the Lou Taylor that was managing Britney Spears when she was put into her conservatorship. And yes, TriStar, her business, who was also named in the Diddy trial as allegedly paying some of the male workers. Honestly, this is some tea that I want to figure out what was the reason for this heated argument that almost allegedly turned into.
But according to reports, that night took a completely different turn. After the alleged incident, Justin reportedly did not remain at the party. He left immediately with Hailey Bieber. No public conversations, no explanations, no social interaction afterward. Just a sudden exit that instantly raised questions everywhere. Sources close to Justin's team later clarified that there was no physical fight involved, but they did not deny that a serious argument took place. They also did not deny Usher's involvement in the heated moment. That silence around details only made people more curious. The biggest question became simple but powerful. What exactly caused the tension in the first place? Over the past year, Justin has been noticeably pulling away from certain people from his past, including unfollowing Scooter Braun and distancing himself from old industry connections. Surprisingly, Usher was also among those he unfollowed, which shocked many people because Usher has always been seen as someone who played a major role in launching Justin's early career and opening doors for him in the industry. But now, the story looks far more complicated than what fans once believed.
That when Justin Bieber signed his first big record deal, that the record label executive, L.A. Reid, described him as a gift from Usher, but hold on, he said much worse. Quote, "This kid was beautiful, like a woman can be beautiful and men rarely are, and he turned it on as soon as he stepped into the room." L.A. Reid recalled how Usher brought Justin Bieber to him in October 2008, saying he had something he wanted to bring him. Around 4 p.m. that day, Usher arrived in the office with an adorable 14-year-old boy, a boy that L.A. Reid was so excited to corrupt.
14-year-old Justin Bieber walks into my office as a gift from Usher. Said, "Hey, I'm coming to your office at 3 o'clock. I have a very special gift for you. That day, we made a deal to sign Justin Bieber.
Keep in mind, L.A. Reid is the one who sent Usher to Diddy's Flava camp, the same camp that Usher said he would never send his children, but willingly sent Justin Bieber. L.A. Reid wrote in his memoir that Justin had a beautiful face, trendy hair, and natural charisma. L.A. Reid himself discovered Usher, and they would often exchange gifts, so I guess like pop stars to each other. Keep in mind that L.A. Reid has been accused of crimes similar to Diddy, SA, and her. He was quoted saying, "I could see immediately that Justin's hair would be every bit as important as his songs, his voice, his face, his presence." These people absolutely objectified Justin Bieber in the worst way possible, and I'm looking forward to their downfall.
As the situation gained attention, people started looking back at Justin's early years in the industry. Usher has spoken before about bringing a very young Justin into major industry spaces when he was just starting out. At the same time, old interviews and memoir references have resurfaced, with fans re-examining how a teenage Justin was introduced into such a high-pressure environment at such an early age. Usher has also previously admitted that his own teenage experience in the music industry was chaotic and full of situations he did not fully understand at the time, later saying he would never want his own children exposed to that kind of environment. That contrast is now raising new questions among fans who are trying to understand how things were handled during Justin's rise.
People believed that, Usher was groomed by Diddy.
He wasn't only groomed by Diddy, he was groomed by L.A. Reid, the rest of them too, man. Because they knew what happened. Then they came out and brought him back, and all of a sudden, he's getting all the great tracks. He's getting all the songs. They making him into this star, even though he may have been a...
They seem to be pretty good friends.
Well, they probably is.
I mean, they did a lot of work together, man, throughout their whole career. Puff was...
Bruh.
Early in his career, Puff and Usher were working together. When Usher was just a kid, all the way up. I mean, I think there's videos from not too long ago when they were together, and Puff is making jokes about how they used to wrestle for the Frosted Flakes in the morning, and
Yeah, I bet they did. Somebody frosted somebody frosted somebody flakes. Without the milk.
What do you think it is that keeps Usher from coming out or saying anything?
Because, yo, dog, you got to realize in that industry, a lot of people are stand back and say, well, it happened to me. That's how some of them people pay their due.
Because of this, many people are now questioning whether the same risks Usher once experienced were unintentionally repeated around Justin. Over time, Justin has become more private, more distant, and far more selective about who he keeps in his life. He tends to cut people off quietly rather than engage in public disputes. Industry commentator Jaguar Wright has also made public claims suggesting that Usher may have played a role in introducing Justin to powerful figures in the music industry, including Sean Diddy Combs. These remain allegations and are not confirmed facts, but they have intensified online discussion and speculation, adding another layer to an already complicated narrative.
I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious it is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was gonna happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy?
When people look at the timeline, one thing stands out clearly. Justin was extremely young when he entered the industry, still developing mentally and emotionally, and heavily dependent on the adults guiding him. Those around him were some of the most powerful names in entertainment. Usher, having already experienced the system himself, understood both the opportunities and the risks involved. Fans are now questioning how much control a young artist really had over their environment at that stage, and whether enough protection and guidance were truly in place.
Usher, what Usher say? I seen some things I shouldn't have been seeing at that age. What does that tell you? That he's seen some things, he was around some things when he was young that he shouldn't have been at a Diddy party. So that's going to show you that there's certain things that are happening that's going on that here it is, this kid was saying he shouldn't even seen it and been around it himself.
This also leads into why fans believe Justin may have distanced himself from certain career opportunities tied to his past relationships. Even potential reunions or shared performances with Usher never seemed to fully happen, despite being expected by the public. In the music industry, such moments are usually seen as celebrations, but Justin's absence from them has sparked more curiosity. Some believe it reflects unresolved emotions connected to his early experiences and the people involved in them.
Get career. Do you know Raymond Usher IV?
No.
Do you know an individual, an entertainer by the name of Usher?
Yeah, Usher. That sounds familiar.
Isn't it true that Usher was instrumental in starting your career?
What does that have to do with this litigation, Mr. DeKalb? This is just you trying to the client.
Before we came back here, you had asked me.
She's going to
Let her read back the question. Thank you for your memory. Is it true that Usher was very instrumental in starting your career?
That was the last question.
I was found on YouTube. I think that I was detrimental to my own career.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you at all. I'm sitting right next to you. Okay,
I said I think I was instrumental to my own career.
Let me hear back from the court reporter.
Instrumental.
Said I think I was instrumental to my own career.
Thank you, sir. But my question was Usher, was he helpful to your professional career?
Yes.
Is Usher a close friend of yours?
Yes.
Is Usher a confidant?
I guess, yes.
Has Usher given you career advice?
Is this an interview or a deposition?
At the same time, Justin's former manager Scooter Braun has also been part of long-standing controversy. He has previously admitted that there were moments during Justin's career when things became so serious that he feared for Justin's well-being, even suggesting there were times he was worried about what might happen to him. Scooter has also acknowledged using certain management tactics that he described as strategic, though critics have often interpreted them as controlling or manipulative. While he insists his intentions were to protect Justin, the statements have only added more complexity to how fans view those years.
Time that you looked at him and be like, yo, we lost this kid.
There was a time where I would go to sleep almost every night when he had the money to fly away from me. And I was worried every night that I was going to lose him. And that was the time where I was telling him he's not allowed to work. And he used to yell and scream at me, and like he wanted to put music out, he wanted to tour, but I thought if he did that, he would die.
Right.
So I just refused. Like, we weren't making any money. It wasn't like I was trying to take advantage. Like, I didn't want him to work because I wanted him to get healthy.
So when you say lose him, you thought?
I thought he was going to die. I thought he was going to go to sleep one night and have so much in his system that he would not wake up the next morning. And I was trying to monitor him from a distance. I would fly after him at times, like all kinds of different stuff. And there's a lot of times where people give me credit for him changing, or people on my team. And I don't think any of us deserve the credit. I think that he made a conscious choice for himself to.
Scooter Braun's name has also appeared in other industry conflicts, including his highly public dispute with Taylor Swift over the ownership of her early music catalog. Taylor described the situation as deeply uncomfortable and said she felt stripped of control over her own work. That entire situation became one of the biggest industry debates in recent years and is now being reconnected by fans to broader conversations about power, control, and artist independence in the music business.
As a young man, if I don't allow him to make mistakes, he'll never learn. So I think my job is less about stopping him now and more about when he does fall, I got to be there to help him get back up. When it comes to what's happened to him the last 9 months, it took its toll because I had to remind myself what was real and what wasn't. Because I think at one point the media started spinning so much that you can't address everything. And I had to kind of remind myself of what is reality and what is being blown up out of proportion.
I get a lot of heat because I stand up for Justin. I'm Team Bieber. I've said it a million times on the show. But his fans want to honestly know from someone who knows him very well, is Justin in a good place right now?
He's figuring out who he wants to be. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that every 19-year-old is in that place where they're trying to figure out in life where they're going, where they want to be, what they want to represent, and that's a struggle. The answer is yes, as far as he's a good natural place. Is he in a good place as far as, is he, happy all the time and is everything easy? No, absolutely not. But with that adversity is going to come, it's going to blossom into manhood.
How much of the negative press is deserved, Scooter?
Look, I think 90% of it is not deserved, but it's our culture. I think that there are times where, being a teenager, he will be frustrated with the lies about himself, and then he will actually act out and give them more ammo. Great Wall of China is a perfect example. Spent 2.5 hours walking on the Great Wall of China, visiting stuff, shooting stuff, hanging out with friends, taking...
When all of these pieces are put together, early industry exposure, resurfaced interviews, management controversies, and the recent alleged tension at a private Hollywood event, it creates a much larger and more complicated picture than just one argument. Whether every detail is confirmed or not, the discussion has clearly shifted into something bigger. It is now about influence, control, trust, and the long-term impact of growing up inside a powerful and often overwhelming entertainment system.